Hey, everybody. Welcome back to AI with Bonnie Karowski, Project Change Consultants. Today, we're going to be addressing change management and AI. We've talked a little bit before about two different types of change managers. The first ones are ones that work solely on projects, and they are now using a process called AICM-PRO. That's AI change management. A part of AI change management has different components. The A stands for adaptation, the I for integration, the C for catalyst, the M for maximization. And the PRO is a proactive reinforcement of the organizational change. You can find these steps and certification courses and books on projectchangeconsultants.com. This is the process that most change managers are going to be using moving into the AI world. The second level of change managers that you're going to find are the ones that are now integrated as change managers and scrum masters in the L&D community. So let's talk a little bit about what that role looks like, since it's a little bit non-traditional and it's something that's new because of the driving force behind AI. Change managers are now going to do dual roles in an L&D department of both change management and learning. They're going to act as certified scrum masters or agile masters or managers to help lead the change and transitions. As we know, in any kind of IT process pool where we're pushing out any type of software, whether it be new or whether it be just an update to a software, it's going to require change management. It's also going to require training if it impacts any audiences. Change managers are already in tune with what needs to be happening on a project. They're already in tune with the project needs, the scope, what it is that's happening, who's being impacted, what are the audiences, and everything else that instructional designers and learning developers need to learn to even conduct their job. So putting them in that role of overseeing the training and trainers makes a huge difference in how fast things move. Change managers are really good at communicating with subject matter experts and stakeholders. We need that as a part of an L&D community. We also need somebody that can help chart and lead these projects. It's not that instructional designers can't be project managers of their own projects. It's that is not their main skill set. Their main skill set is not to attend meetings and give status reports and update Excel spreadsheets. They are the designers and developers between what's going to be the new AR and VR. They are the storyboard writers, the creative ones. They are not the people that go to school to be project managers. They're the ones that go to the school to learn things like art and learning theories. So taking those skills away from a learning developer gives them time to do and be the best that they can in their roles that they do. A change manager's job is to manage timelines. It is to manage implementations and rollouts and customer happiness and success. And a part of that is measuring metrics like KPIs. If they're already doing it, it just makes complete sense for them to oversee these projects. They can be the great blocker for instructional designers so that instructional designers don't have to attend as many meetings. They could be the communicator back and forth to subject matter experts, asking very specific questions and diving deep into things that a designer might need to know in order to develop the best training. They are also really good at things like grammar checking. So an instructional designer can do an internal check with their change manager scrum master to ensure that training is going out flawless, because that is what a change manager is good at. They're good at those type of things. So we're rerouting change managers to actually hold spots in an L&D department. They are dual enrolling as scrum masters or agile masters or managers in order to make this happen. It gives them the push and the pull to communicate to the projects what the timeline, deadlines, and rollouts are going to be. Their whole job is to make sure that implementation is flawless. That is not a learning developer's job to do. So putting people in the correct roles that have the correct skill sets is important to optimizing teams and effectiveness. It gives the instructional designers time to balance or juggle multiple projects. That makes learning more efficient, more time constrained, but also more accurate in real time. Instructional designers could develop much faster, especially using AI tools and eliminating those lengthy meetings and those discussions that could be had by people that enjoy being on those meetings. Most instructional designers find meetings to be, I don't want to say boring because that's really not the word, but not a good use of time. It takes them away from what they're actually supposed to be doing. So I'm not saying it's going to eliminate their meetings completely. They still need to work with their SMEs in real-time feedback using AI tools and keeping the SMEs engaged in getting that content and getting it reviewed. But what they don't need is to roll out implementation plans. They don't need to coordinate things with an LMS. They don't need to be doing all the testing when things launch. They don't need to be doing the archiving. There's somebody that can do that. Change managers, their greatest assets is their communication skills. That's why they're hired. And they're also very organized. They already know, most of them in the world at least, that have been around a bit, know how to project manage things and know how to roll towards implementation and work with the clients and the stakeholders to ensure a seamless and perfect rollout. So why not put the best one for the job in the role? It just makes sense. You know, once upon a time when I was in grad school, one of my instructors said to me, we're all going to be reading this book called Now Discover Your Strengths. And the best takeaway of that book that I got in that class was that Michael Jordan focused on basketball and he made his millions. He focused on what he was good at, not what he was bad at. He didn't focus on being an accountant or a landscaper. He focused on basketball. So let the change managers focus on what they do and let the instructional designers focus on what they do. Put them in the right places. Give them a chance to succeed. Optimize their work. And by optimizing their work, and the instructional designers can use the HEADS program, and change managers can use the AICM-PRO, you not only confirm that you can move forward in an agile environment that fits within a safe framework, but that you're utilizing AI tools to be more effective and optimize the job. And you're putting people with their strengths in the right position. It is time for a department overhaul. It is time for people to be placed into their positions. So change managers, congratulations of your move to learning and development teams. You are a part of these overall projects, but your main job is to roll out and implement these successfully. And nothing is rolled out and implemented successfully without the right training in place. So let's just put that into perspective. They belong naturally in the learning and development department. They belong with the people that are creating the job aids, the e-learning, the classroom teaching. They belong to sit in those classroom teaching events, to be a subject matter expert and to answer questions. They are the sole person responsible for telling our clients when something is rolling out and how successful it's going to be. So plug them in, give them what they need, put them a part of those teams. Those teams are the ones that make your company a success. I have seen companies over my 20 years spend millions of dollars to implement new software and rollouts, only to find them meet tragic endings because they have failed to utilize their change managers and instructional designers the way they needed to. If something launches and it doesn't launch successfully, it's because the change management and training was not put in place properly. So let's leverage those AI tools. Let's let the change managers work on projects just like they always have, but let's also integrate change managers into the learning development process as Scrum Masters. Let's put them in putting together the schedules for the learning developers, working with the subject matter experts to ensure that it's going to go through. And the great thing about change managers in our day and age is most of them already have an idea how the change management process works for learning and development. So they know the timelines it takes for something to be developed. And they know the difference between presenting a project in an e-learning environment that is a Ford Escort versus a Cadillac versus a Ferrari. So they know what could be offered to the client. They know the time scopes and budgets, and they can adhere to those timelines. You don't need to have your instructional designers project managing. That's not their skill set. It's not what they went to school for. Stop using them for that, but use those change managers effectively. Give them the tools to do the job. 20 years ago, I went to be change management certified for ADCAR ProSci. I have used it every single year. As an L&D professional, that has come in handy for almost every job that I have taken and every consulting project that I have worked. Change management has been the ticket to my success, and it's what sets me apart from most other instructional designers or learning developers or learning leaders. And why? It's because that skill set is a demand that is separate from what L&D can offer. So when you find someone with those type of skills, give them the ability to use them. Let them manage those projects. Let them oversee those instructional designers and help them and guide them. They know enough about training, and they've learned enough about training as the tail end of their job duties that they hold already to be able to successfully move this forward. And they will love the ability to have control over that messaging, that timeline, that consistent messaging from the training through the change management and the communications. We will talk a little bit in detail about communication specialists coming up as well. Change managers that do work in a regular IT environment do stumble with a lot of other difficulties. If training is not going to be needed, then change management typically isn't needed. They go hand in hand. But if a change manager finds themselves using AI tools in a change management specialty, and they're not working with training, their AI tools aren't really effective. For example, if I were to build a rolling communication plan as a part of my change management plan, and my communications were going out consistently, weekly, I am not aligned with L&D to know if I'm telling the truth, and my messaging can be completely different from what's going out there. Now, I can meet with learning and development, but as we know, it's a fluid world and things are changing every day, especially with the new agile AI in L&D. So the objectives of a course can change overnight without any other knowledge. The pieces and components that go in it are changing on a daily basis. So how do those change managers align their messaging to teach about what is going to be taught and when all those components are moving on a rapid basis? So for change managers, we do recommend going ahead and taking a look at the AI versions. AICM-PRO is a very good way to be able to start working iteratively on those projects when you're not tied into L&D as a Scrum Master or a project manager over the L&D projects. It helps you navigate how to get around those type of situations and issues to be successful if your company hasn't implemented this full program. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as the time comes, and we're going to be showing some of the AI software that I recommend for change managers. And that's going to be in some future sessions. For now, let's just focus on what processes can you use to impact your job and make it more optimized. AICM-PRO, you can find out more on our website. You can take the certifications. It is time to start moving into an AI environment for change managers. We are also going to be focusing on communications, and we have a whole episode just for that. So if you're a change manager, you should probably read that one too. We'll see you there. Thanks. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.